You know the names, you can quote the lines. But the men who raise these stars, that's where the plot really starts. Picture a kid in a tiny LA apartment flipping through underground comics while his dad argues about art and activism at the kitchen table. Another wakes before dawn in a Philly row house, watching a refrigeration engineer lace up work boots and teach, without speeches, what no excuses actually means. In Missouri, a boy hears truck engines growl and learns that showing up every day on time is a skill you carry for life. Fame looks like a spotlight. Fatherhood looks like a ritual. Paychecks counted on a Sunday night, a sermon that lands when the house is quiet, a PE teacher's whistle, a miner's hands, a poet's pen. Some dads stood 2 feet from the camera. Some never came near a set. Some were stern. Some were gone. All left fingerprints on the roles you think were born on set. So here's the question that changes how you watch every performance from now on. Did talent make the career, or did a father's blueprint build the talent? Across 40 stories, you'll see discipline turn into leading men, bohemian dinner table debates turn into risk-taking choices, and blue-collar grit turn into staying power. The reveals aren't in gossip. They're in habits, in timing, in the quiet rules that shaped who these actors became. And the first surprise? Some of them were born in the business, long before the first audition. Some kids don't discover sets. They learn to walk on them. The house smells like film stock and coffee. The bedtime stories are punchlines, third act turns, and try it, stranger. When your family language is story, risk stops feeling risky. It just feels like home. Robert Downey Jr. grew up inside his father, Robert Downey Sr.'s experiments. Underground films, wild ideas, no permission slips. In that chaos, Robert Downey Jr. learned the one rule that matters. Commit so hard, the audience leans in even when the scene swerves. The swagger isn't an accident. It's muscle memory from rooms where adults argued about art at midnight. That's why Robert Downey Jr. can make a smirk feel like a plot point and a whisper land like a punchline. He was trained to surprise without warning and still stick the landing. Jake Gyllenhaal's world was scripts on the counter and notes in the margins. A director poet for a dad, Stephen Gyllenhaal. Story wasn't homework. Jake Gyllenhaal breathed it. That's why his characters live at the edges. Decent men with shadows, troubled men with grace, because Jake Gyllenhaal learned early that a close-up only works if the backstory is already burning. He chases roles that tilt the floor and trusts himself to keep the frame steady. Benedict Cumberbatch watched professionalism up close. A working actor father, Timothy Carlton, showing what craft first, fuss second looks like. Lines learned, code on, out the door, back for tea, then notes. Even when a character is unraveling, Benedict Cumberbatch keeps the stitching tight, precision wrapped in danger. He was raised to honor beats, hit turns, and let silence do a job words can't. Which is why Benedict Cumberbatch can make intellect feel like velocity and vulnerability feel like a reveal you earned. Christian Slater learned the business from the side corridor. His father, Michael Hawkins, a soap actor who knew the grind, the auditions that don't call back, the jobs that do. He picked up swagger, sure, but he also collected survival skills. Christian Slater knows how to make a scene lean forward, how to write a line so it carries a smile and a threat in the same breath. When Christian Slater slides into frame, you feel the invisible resume. Years of rooms, notes, pivots, and a refusal to blink first. Ralph Fiennes grew under a photographer's eye. His father, Mark Fiennes, teaching composition, patience, the power of a single look. Pictures taught Ralph Fiennes that what you hold back can speak louder than what you say. He learned to load a stare with weather. Grief, fury, grace, all in one still frame. That's why Ralph Fiennes can freeze a room without raising his voice. The image is already doing the talking. If storytelling is the family language, risk becomes fluent. Some homes smelled like solvent, steel, and coffee in a thermos. Paychecks came from calluses. The rhythm was simple. Up early, work hard, don't complain, do it again tomorrow. It doesn't look like cinema until you see what it builds. Brad Pitt watched William Alvin Pitt keep trucks moving in Missouri. Deadlines, route sheets, machines that only respect upkeep. That kind of order seeps in. Brad Pitt learned to treat the job like maintenance. Prep first, then performance. He surrounds himself with people who can carry weight and lets the finished work talk. The calm you feel on screen, the sense that the moment is under control, comes from a house where reliability wasn't a slogan. It was the rule. Chris Pratt grew up with Daniel Clifton Pratt, first a miner, later a remodeler. Long days, heavy lifts, laugh or quit. Chris Pratt chose laugh and then kept lifting. That's why his regular guy never feels like a costume. He knows how to pace a long shift, how to reset when he's tired, how to make the last take the best one. The joke lands because the grit is real, and the warmth sits on top of miles already walked. Mark Wahlberg saw Donald Edmond. Wahlberg Sr. grind for a big Boston family. Teamster runs, deliveries in bad weather, less talk, more carry. Mark Wahlberg turned that tempo into a daily contract with himself. Discipline before dawn, work until the scene stops resisting. The turn from chaos to consistency wasn't magic. It was a choice he'd watched his father make. Show up, even when the day isn't friendly. Daniel Craig learned steadiness from Timothy John Wroughton. Craig, merchant navy, steel, pubs, different jobs, same backbone. Finish the task, don't make a fuss. Daniel Craig brings that exact energy. He moves like a man who can actually fix what he just broke. The toughness isn't loud, it's functional. Precision shots, clean exits, a kind of dignity that doesn't need a speech to be understood. Liam Neeson grew up with Bernard Neeson, a school caretaker. Quiet work that only gets noticed when it isn't done. Liam Neeson carries that quiet. He lets presence do the heavy lifting. When he plays men who accept responsibility, it reads as lived in, not performed. He understands the weight of necessary tasks, the kind done without applause and remembered without fanfare. Blue-collar childhoods teach two things cameras love: repetition and resilience. You practice until the move is boring, then you rely on it when the moment matters. That's why these performances feel sturdy. The habit arrived before the fame. Rules, schedules, checklists. Some houses ran like clockwork because the stakes demanded it. That structure didn't crush creativity. It gave it rails. Will Smith grew up under Willard Carroll Smith Sr., a meticulous problem solver who believed a job isn't done until it's done right. If the hinge squeaked, you fixed it. If the plan slipped, you reset and finished anyway. Will Smith built his career on that code. Lyrics memorized, marks hit, energy on demand. So the charm feels effortless because the preparation is relentless. When a scene needs lift, he doesn't muscle it with volume. He tightens the work, like tuning a compressor until the system hums. Denzel Washington is the son of Reverend. Denzel Washington Sr., a Pentecostal minister whose sermons were less performance than posture. Discipline, service, self-control. In Denzel Washington, you see that as stillness with voltage. He can hold a pause like it's a held note, spine straight, intention clear, and let the room come to him. Authority isn't a costume he puts on. It's a habit he carries, built from a childhood where duty was daily, and words were supposed to mean something when you said them. Chris Hemsworth watched Craig Hemsworth sit with families on their worst days and stay steady. That's a different kind of strength, calm in chaos, warmth without softness. Chris Hemsworth brings that center into big frames. He can crack the room open with a grin and still keep the moment honest, like someone who knows humor is a bridge, not a dodge. The hero reads human because the man playing him understands care isn't weakness. it's control. Hugh Grant learned craftsmanship from James Grant, who sold carpets by day and painted on the side. 2 lanes, 1 standard. Make the thing properly. That's why Hugh Grant's looseness is engineered. The stammer is timed. The shrug's placed around. The A side lands on the exact breath beat it needs. He makes accidental charm feel accidental. But the scaffolding is invisible. Measure twice, cut once, then hide the ruler. Tom Cruise grew up with Thomas Cruise Mapother III, an electrical engineer. Circuits, tolerances, consequences. Sloppy wiring doesn't just look bad, it fails under load. Tom Cruise treats scenes the same way. Break the impossible into parts. Drill the parts until they're boring. Then execute at speed. The thrill isn't recklessness, it's precision at scale. When he sprints, fights, or hangs from anything that would terrify a normal person, the real flex is method. Systems thinking disguised as adrenaline. Structure can look stern from the outside. Inside, it feels like freedom. You know what matters and what to do next. That's the current in these performances: clarity, responsibility, and the quiet confidence of people who finish what they start. Dinner tables can be classrooms. Sometimes the homework is a debate, the textbook is a zine, and the bell rings when someone says, "Prove it." Leonardo DiCaprio grew up with George DiCaprio. Underground comics on the table, small galleries on weeknights, big ideas in casual conversation. Risk wasn't rebellion, it was research. George chased the unusual and treated curiosity like a job description. And Leonardo DiCaprio soaked that up. That's why he toggles between megafilms and unnerving character studies without blinking. He likes the stories that argue back. He'll pick the part that asks for a leap, then make the leap look inevitable. Activism wasn't a pivot for Leonardo DiCaprio. It was the through line. Tell a story, then make it matter. Christian Bale's compass was set by David Bale. Entrepreneur, environmental and animal rights activist, stubborn about principles. In that house, opinions had receipts. You didn't posture, you picked and paid. Christian Bale carries that into the work. He doesn't chase applause, he chases consequence, even if it costs him comfort. The body changes, the voice bends, the edges get sharp because Christian Bale treats a role like a position taken in public. If conviction is expensive, he pays quietly, completely, and on screen, you feel the bill come due. Colin Firth learned from David Norman Lewis Firth, a history lecturer who treated context like oxygen. The lesson was simple. Understand the era and you'll understand the man. Colin Firth turns that into performances that are precise without being brittle. He builds interior weather, manners that cover storms, warmth that hides a wound, because he knows beliefs and pressures shape behavior long before a scene starts. When Colin Firth pauses, you can hear footnotes under the silence, and the choice he makes next always feels historically true to the moment. Daniel Day-Lewis is the son of Cecil Day-Lewis, poet laureate, which means language in that home wasn't decoration. It was a blade. Every word earned its keep. Daniel Day-Lewis took that standard and applied it to everything. How a man walks, where he holds breath, what a single glance can purchase. He doesn't inflate, he distills. The performance feels discovered because Daniel Day-Lewis carves away anything that isn't the point. The same way a line of verse survives only if it can bear weight. Precision isn't fuss here, it's power. Viggo Mortensen grew up with Viggo Peter Mortensen Sr., managing farms and business across South America. New places, new rules, same requirement. Adapt and listen. Viggo Mortensen keeps that traveler's humility, learn the language, learn the people, then speak. It's why he refuses one lane. Acting, yes, but also poetry, painting, music. He brings that multi-tool curiosity to characters who feel lived in from the first frame. When Viggo Mortensen looks past the camera, It plays like he's seeing a country we haven't visited yet. And he knows how to get there. Bohemian Tables taught these actors to treat ideas like instruments. Tune them, test them, play them in public. The result isn't just daring choices, it's a habit of meaning. Not every origin reads cozy. Some childhoods are built on distance, detours, or doors that closed without explanation. That doesn't end a story. It changes the fuel. Keanu Reeves grew up largely apart from Samuel Nowlin Reeves Jr., a geologist who wasn't around for most of his life. The absence didn't hollow Keanu Reeves out, it hardened his quiet. He learned self-reliance early, the kind that doesn't announce itself. That's why Keanu Reeves can hold a frame with almost nothing. Patience, decency, and a stillness that feels earned, not invented. Ben Affleck watched Timothy Byers Affleck cycle through honest work, mechanic, janitor, bartender, while wrestling his own storms. The lesson for Ben Affleck wasn't romantic, it was practical. Lives get messy. You keep going. He brings that knowledge to the screen. Men trying to do right with imperfect tools, and to the chair where Ben Affleck's directing feels like someone who's seen the floor from a few angles and still chooses the shot with the most truth in it. Joaquin Phoenix's father, John Lee Bottom, worked with his hands and led a family through a nomadic chapter that included time in the children of God. Then a decisive break, a new start, a new name. Reinvention wasn't theory in Joaquin Phoenix's house, it was breakfast talk. That's why Joaquin Phoenix disappears in roles without apology. He treats identity like a craft project you build and rebuild until it fits the truth. Johnny Depp's father, John Christopher Depp Sr., was a civil engineer, structured work in a family that moved a lot and eventually split. Instability taught Johnny Depp to find anchors in imagination. He doesn't just play eccentric. Johnny Depp makes oddness coherent, as if a wild interior life was the only fixed address he could always keep. Tom Hanks grew up on the move with Amos Mefford Hanks, an itinerant cook. New towns, new schools, same suitcase. That shuffle gave Tom Hanks a superpower, instant empathy. He makes strangers feel familiar. When Tom Hanks plays the decent man in a chaotic world, it lands because he knows what it's like to build home out of whatever you can carry. Complicated bonds don't cancel momentum, they redirect it. The gaps become negative space the audience can feel. And these actors learn to fill it with presence, purpose, and a kind of honesty that doesn't need a speech. Grief doesn't arrive like a plot point. It shows up with paperwork, phone calls, and a house that sounds too big. What you keep after that tends to change the work. Bradley Cooper said goodbye to Charles J. Charlie Cooper, a stockbroker who taught steadiness more than speeches. After that loss, Bradley Cooper's choices tightened. Fewer detours, more projects that demand skin in the game. He moves like a man, who's traded clever for exact. The charm stayed, but the aim got closer. Less about being seen, more about saying something he can stand next to years later. You can feel a son who has held a hand at the end and wants scenes that tell the truth back. Ryan Reynolds lost James Chester Reynolds in 2015 after Parkinson's. The quick wit survived, but the target shifted. Ryan Reynolds still tosses the line that makes the room break, then leaves a half beat where the human part breathes. Naming a daughter James wasn't branding, it was a compass he can carry. The public persona is bright, but the work under it feels newly precise. Use the laugh to open the door, then do something kind with The Room. Hugh Jackman's anchor was Christopher John Jackman, accountant, single dad years, no martyr story. When he passed in 2021, Hugh Jackman didn't turn elegy into performance. He did what he's always done. Show up, say thank you. Make the line between what matters and what doesn't a little cleaner. That's why Hugh Jackman can make generosity read as strength. It's not PR polish, it's a muscle he built at home. Russell Crowe said farewell to John Alexander Crowe, who fed film crews from the shadows and kept a hotel humming. After 2021, Russell Crowe wore memory like weight carried correctly, closer to the body, balanced. The intensity never left, it just found a steadier center. He plays men who break and then continue, and you believe it, because you can feel the private rule, keep people working when the weather turns. Antonio Banderas lost Jose Dominguez Prieto in 2008, a Guardia Civil officer who treated duty like a daily verb. Antonio Banderas carries that forward. Generous on sets, serious when it counts, open about why he works the way he does. The sparkle never dimmed. It sits now on something firmer, a promise to make the time count, to be useful, to bring light without wasting it. Loss rearranges a life. These men didn't hide from that. They let it reframe the frame. Fewer wasted moves, more days that mean what they say. Some fathers didn't just cheer from the seats. They handed over pages, pointed at the lens, and said, "Try this." Tom Hardy grew up with Edward Chips Hardy, a storyteller who wrote with a knife's edge. Novels, plays, jokes that cut and heal. Years later, they built Taboo together, father sketching world and myth, son walking through it with muddy boots. Tom Hardy plays men who look carved from trouble. You can feel the writer at his shoulder, sharpening the silence, making sure every scar earns its place. Robert Downey Jr. was thrown into the deep end by Robert Downey Sr., guerrilla shoots, underground sets, scenes that broke rules on purpose. That chaos didn't make Robert Downey Jr. reckless. It made him exact. When he flips a line and it lands like a magic trick, that's training. Hit the odd angle, sell the truth anyway. Collaboration here wasn't neat or easy, but it turned mischief into method, and method into a career that can skateboard from danger to heart in one cut. Jake Gyllenhaal stepped in front of Stephen Gyllenhaal's camera early, learning what a director hears when a scene isn't breathing yet. Notes at the kitchen table became adjustments on set, and Jake Gyllenhaal kept the habit. Listen hard, lean into risk, earn the close-up. When he plays a man whose choices keep getting narrower, you can sense the home rule. The camera forgives nothing. Give it something true. Benedict Cumberbatch grew up with Timothy Carlton, a working actor who didn't romanticize the craft, learn the lines, find the beat, respect the call time. They even shared a frame later, a quiet wink to a lifetime of mentorship. Benedict Cumberbatch brings that inheritance like posture. Precise without stiffness, dangerous without noise. You're watching muscle memory, choices carved by years of notes that sounded like encouragement, but worked like chisels. Javier Bardem's father, Jose Carlos Encinas Dusenag, wasn't in the arts and exited early, a counterweight to the acting dynasty on his mother's side. That absence and contrast still shaped Javier Bardem's course. He learned to take the work dead seriously and the circus around it not at all. Collaboration here isn't about shared credits. It's about a boundary line that taught Javier Bardem where to spend his fire. Inside the scene, not outside of it. Sometimes the hand on your shoulder is literally your father's. Sometimes it's the shape of the space he left. Either way, the influence is in the frame, on the page, in the timing, and in the kind of risks these men keep choosing. Some inherit cheekbones, others inherit habits. Watch closely and you can see the household rules surviving the spotlight. Denzel Washington carries the posture of a minister's son. From Reverend Denzel Washington Sr. came structure, service, and sentences that mean what they say. That's why Denzel Washington can hold a room with silence. The authority isn't performed, it's practiced. Every pause feels like a decision, not an accident. Chris Evans grew up with a dentist for a dad. Precision and care baked into the job. That shows up as integrity on screen. Chris Evans hits emotional marks like he's aligning a bite. Small adjustments, clean fit, no showboating. The do the right thing energy isn't a pose, it's calibration. Leonardo DiCaprio keeps his father George's curiosity and risk tolerance. Underground comics, activism, strange rooms with stranger ideas. That was normal. So Leonardo DiCaprio treats the career like a laboratory. Jump to the edge, bring back something worth talking about, and make the platform useful when the credits roll. Brad Pitt holds on to William Alvin Pitt's logistics mindset. Trucks, routes, uptime, reliability, or nothing. On set, Brad Pitt works the same way. Prep heavy, ego light, surround yourself with craftsmen, and let the finished thing talk. The easy calm you feel is just a foreman's confidence in a job done properly. Viggo Mortensen keeps the traveler's toolkit he learned from Viggo Peter Mortensen Sr. New countries, new languages, same standard. Listen first. Viggo Mortensen moves through roles like someone who's already learned the customs. Multilingual curiosity, quiet humility, and work that refuses one lane. Actor, poet, painter, because one lane never matched the map at home. What stuck wasn't DNA so much as daily routine. Faith held straight, precision repeated, risk welcomed, work respected, people listened to. The roles change, the rules don't. Fame looks like a spotlight, but the stories that built these men were written far from set. On truck routes, in church pews, around kitchen tables stacked with zines, in schools after hours, and in quiet houses after loss. What lasts isn't the headline, it's the habit. From Will Smith's Finish What You Start wiring to Denzel Washington's Held Note authority, from Brad Pitt's shop floor reliability to Leonardo DiCaprio's curiosity that keeps choosing the harder road, from Viggo Mortensen's traveler's humility to Tom Hanks' instant empathy, Keanu Reeves' steady silence, Daniel Day-Lewis's precision, Hugh Jackman's gracious strength. Every performance you know has a fingerprint you don't see. Some fathers handed down craft, some handed down grit, some taught by showing up, others taught by leaving a space that had to be filled with purpose. A few stepped into the frame themselves, others stayed in the wings and made sure the light bill got paid. Different paths, same outcome. Rules that outlived the household. If you watch closely now, you'll spot the inheritance. The way a line lands like a promise kept. The way a pause carries weight. The way risk reads as responsibility, not stunt. These aren't tricks, they're home training. So here's the question to take with you. Which of these stories changes how you see the work? And which rule, discipline, curiosity, duty, resilience, do you recognize in your own life? Tell us the father-son chapter that hit you hardest, and why. Then look again at your favorite scene. You might notice the quiet blueprint beneath the applause.